we do see it when women have the means and the abilities and the access to information that, the impossible happens.
It changes everything.
Finally, following our SDG Roundtable tradition, if you could capture your thoughts and feelings about the SDGs in one word, what would it be?
Ambition. The SDGs are an ambitious perspective on what the world should be and can be, but that's not even the way I'm using the word ambition. It's about personal ambition. It's about wanting to see your kids do better than you did. It's about wanting to be able to work hard and deliver yourself a better retirement. You're ambitious for what you can have as an impact in your community around you as a citizen. We keep talking about SDGs as if these are things that the UN or that heads of government need to do, and yes, they are. But individuals who have ambition for themselves, who have ambition for their families, for their communities, have every capacity to step up. I mean, what we've seen is the challenges we're in as a world right now isn't because one person in one government somewhere decided to flip a switch and cause challenges. It's the cumulated impact of millions upon billions of actions that we all take every single day to either make things slightly better or ignore the consequences and make things slightly worse. And if we have ambition, true ambition for what we can do and what we must do for the world around us to deliver that better future we want for ourselves and for our kids, then every single one of us can and will step up to shape the world for the better.
Ambition is really, truly the perfect word for us to close on. Thank you, Prime Minister of Canada and co-chair of the SDG Advocates, Justin Trudeau, for joining us for this SDG Roundtable. You can learn more about the progress of the Sustainable Development Goals by following the link on this video. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emery.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us.
زلزال طلعت لبرا وكنت انا كان استمي عمو علي. انا بس نعيش طفولتنا بس الامان انا بطلب وعنا يكون بيت آمن.
It's been almost a week of intense hostilities in Sudan, and it's taking a devastating toll on that country's children. Reports are that 9 children have already been killed and more than 50 injured. Many families are trapped, little or no access to electricity, so they're terrified of running out of food, of water, running out of medicines. Even before the escalation in violence in Sudan, humanitarian needs for the girls and boys of that country were higher than ever before. Critical life-saving care for an estimated 50,000 severely acutely malnourished children. That's already been disrupted, and that is life-threatening. And so just as the United Nations Secretary-General has been saying, we need forces to immediately cease hostilities. All parties respect those international obligations and protect children from harm so UNICEF can quickly reach all children in need.
What you see here is this truck being loaded with all kinds of supplies for emergency life-saving interventions for the families that have crossed from Sudan to seek refuge in Chad. The refugee population there has literally nothing. They're sitting on the border. There's no shelter. There's nothing. It's extremely hot. It hasn't rained in over 6 months. So these are very dire situations, and UNICEF is on the ground and doing anything to help.
I'm a proud Sudanese woman, and I work for UNICEF. I cannot explain to you how I felt to see this crisis unfold in Sudan. To see my families, including my own family, forced to flee their homes, to see hospitals running out of supplies, and to see schools closed. Before the crisis unfolds in Sudan on the 15th of April, it was already a country with too many children suffering. Sudan has one of the highest malnutrition rates in the world, and already vaccination capacity is declining. 1 out of 18 children in Sudan do not live to see their 5th birthday, and already 7 million children are out of school. The whole country was brought to standstill, and children are suffering the most. Children in Sudan need peace, not violence. Join me in standing with the children of Sudan for as long as they need.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Wilcock. The COVID-19 pandemic has left many parents worried about how school shutdowns and lost learning have affected their children's education and futures. We received questions about this from parents all around the world, and I hope my responses are helpful to them and to parents everywhere, just like you. Today I'm answering some questions about catching up on lost learning. Let's hear our first question.
Hi, I'm Becky, and this is
Sadie.
And Sadie, how old were you when COVID first happened?
4.
We feel like Sadie missed out on really the foundations, the basics, the kind of reading and writing, and I think we're just concerned about how everybody's going to catch up and what can be done about it.
Hi Becky and Sadie, thank you both so much for your question. Learning loss is a huge concern everywhere, including with children in younger age groups like Sadie. And you're absolutely right that basic literacy and mathematics are so critical. They're the foundation on which all future learning is built. That's why it's so important that every child has the chance to build these skills now. To make sure this happens, we must first act urgently to bring every child back to the classroom, then assess their level of learning and help them catch up on critical skills. We also need to make sure that children are safe and well nourished so that they're ready to learn. I hope that's helpful. Let's listen to the next question.
Përshëndetje, quhem Erisela dhe jam 93 fëmijëve në Shqipëri. Disa prej fëmijëve ende po ndjekin mësimin online. Mirë, ata nuk janë të pajisur me tableta apo kompjuter në shtëpitë e tyre. Kjo më shqetëson sepse ata do të mbeten mbrapa.
Hi, Ariselda. Thanks for bringing this up. You're so right to notice this and to be concerned. The digital divide is a problem that has not only been highlighted during the pandemic, but actually made a lot worse. We now know that about 1/3 of the world's school children weren't able to access remote learning when their schools closed in 2020. This means children who are already from more disadvantaged backgrounds, lacking internet access or electronic devices, are falling further behind their peers than ever before. UNICEF is working with partners to close the digital divide and give every child and young person access to quality digital learning by 2030. It isn't just about remote learning, it's about every child having access to digital learning in the classroom or wherever they learn. It's a complete transformation of the way students learn every day. That's all for now, but I'll be back to answer more questions from parents in another video. Thanks for watching.
Hey students, how's school going really? Let's talk about it.
Rolling. I'm Felipe from Brazil. I'm a college student at Belém, and my school closed due to COVID-19 situation in Brazil in 2020, and until today, we are still on online model. The situation has me feel really bad because I lost daily interaction with my friends and people I love, and remote teaching was not so efficient. Do you have any recommendations?
Hi Felipe, I want you to know that you are not alone. There has been so much loss. I am sorry you lost the daily interactions with your loved ones. Feeling connected to friends and family is vital, and using any tools we have, like letters, phone calls, the internet, to reach out, even just to say, hi, I love you and I miss you. This can feel really good. I think we've all learned that there's no perfect substitute for in-person time together. But try a regular scheduled time for a walk, a sport, a joint activity with a friend. Remember, doing something to help a family member or neighbor in need can really help make you feel more connected and less alone. Working on a project with others, solving a problem, or creating something can also help you feel connected to yourself first and then to others too. Always remember to talk about how you are feeling. Reach out and connect with others if you need support. Ask for what you need and then take it.
Tengo 14 años de edad. Cuando estaba en Pichincha, Manabí, y estudiaba allá, a mí me gustaba la materia de ciencias naturales, los experimentos sobre el vapor, sobre el aire. Y como vino la pandemia, ya no pude hacer los experimentos.
El hecho de pasar 2 años fuera de las aulas de clases, recibir clases virtuales, genera que tengan ese déficit, pero ellos regresan con ese ánimo, regresan con ese entusiasmo de querer aprender, de que se sientan confiados, de que se sientan apoyados de parte del docente.
Siento que estoy muy feliz de haber vuelto a estudiar, de aprender, lo voy a lograr para ser alguien en la vida.
Hey students, how is school going really? Students all over the world are more stressed, more overwhelmed, and so many feel like they've fallen behind in school, and their relationships with teachers and friends have changed. Let's talk about it.
Rolling.
Hi, Dr. Talib. This is Katie from Canada. I'm a high school student in Nunavut, and our schools were closed for most of the month. I'm struggling with the idea of going back after so many months of isolation. Infection is something that makes me anxious, and I recently entered isolation because I was exposed to COVID at school. Do you have any tips I can use to adapt to the changes and get back into the routine of attending school every day?
Hi, Katie. I want you to know it's okay to feel both anxious about infection risk and be looking forward to being back with your friends and teachers. When school and our daily routines keep changing on us, we don't feel in control, and that's unsettling for anyone. With all of these changes in school, expect the unexpected. Practice being flexible as best as you can. I know it's not easy, and it's been a very long time of this mess, but this hard time will eventually get better. If not the pandemic itself, then definitely your ability, Katie, to manage yourself through it will. Always remember to talk about how you are feeling. Reach out and connect with others if you need support. Ask for what you need and then take it.
Tornare che la detsta fiantra. La tonga detsta fiantra e sai rambe papi na vita to nande yanarako.
Farany formation kirana azinay dia fomba fiasanay aketo zegny rehefa mandritra ny fisoratana agnarana igny zegny fa mizaha hoe zao viavy le zaza tsy nierina à l'école dia mahatale anahy sy mampampianatra ny Clarissa anahy moa dia tonga dia hitako hoe tsy takahy Clarissa dia niezaka zany nagnantona ray aman-dreny anazy nivolagniko papany izy koa tao ampianarana izy azy efa ny problemenare alefaso izy mandeha mianatra foa efa misy pare aminay à l'école akagny.
ravoravo be za satria za tsy nieritreritry za tafy hianatra eky izy koa mbola misy raharaha karaha itony fa l'école mazoto be za mianatra satria nagnatakatry tanjogna anahy mbola mpianatra za sahirana karaha za fandoa.
Anxiety at the start of school, that's really common. Pressure, social
so many sources of stress.
Worse than simple back to school.
Hey parents, managing the rapidly changing school situation has been so stressful for our children and teenagers, but also for ourselves. Here are some tips to help guide you if anxiety or feeling overwhelmed about school has been a topic in your home. Tip number 1, check in with your teen about how school is going. For some, they may want to talk, but many, when they come home from school, may need you to show up with just a smile, a glass of water, and a reminder that you are there if needed. Please let them know that you were thinking of them. Tip number 2, stay connected to your child's schools and teachers. Help your teens ask them for help directly if they're struggling. Always remind your kids of their strengths that they bring to school and to schoolwork. And my last tip, take care of yourself. If you're having a hard time processing the rapidly changing news and your stress, manage it away from your child at first. Then, in front of your child or teen, model your mental health by saying things like, I'm going to take a walk to shake off the stress, or I'm going to turn my phone off to rest my mind, or I'm going to go have a glass of water to hydrate my body. Would you like to join me? Remember, the only way to know how your child is doing is to make space for sharing feelings and to actively listen. You are doing great. You're probably doing better than you think you are.
I'm currently leading the center where we're getting migrants and registering them and sending them to the location where they can temporarily live. Many of them are getting here from the very hot places such as Kharkiv, Okhtir, Sumy, Kherson, Mariupol, and many others. Where it's happening, that's the biggest point. And sometimes in here it's difficult to understand that actually the processes are going and the war is happening and the rockets are falling. People coming in here from the places where all that stuff is happening are broken, are mentally broken, are physically broken, are very often economically and socially broken because they have lost their lives. I mean, lives in the social condition. I'm not sure that it's very easy to lose everything you were building your whole life, coming into different place with having nothing to live with. It's hard for us, but it's much worse for them. So we're here to help. In the first place, we're trying to stay calm and we're ready to help in any way we can to help us save Ukraine.
It's hard to be a child in Ukraine. It's hard to be a mom in Ukraine. It's hard to be a young person in Ukraine. As of today, we have 2.2 million people are being served with supplies coming in. Our supplies, health supplies, education supplies, first aid kits have reached 400,000 people already. We know much more is needed. We are working 24/7 to get life-saving supplies to children, to women, to young people across Ukraine. We want peace now, we want humanitarian corridors now, and we are working for that.
There was a lot of volume last night and he was so scared.
So scared. I'm standing in front of a blue dot, which is a centre to receive refugees who are fleeing the war in Ukraine. There are child-friendly spaces set up for kids, infants to play, and so that mothers can essentially get a rest, have a meal, and then strategize where they will go from here. they plan to go back at some point?
Вы планируете вернуться? Мы еще пока не знаем, мы еще ничего не знаем, мы просто еще в шоке. Мы еще... После вчера вот у нас рядом разбили прямо нашего дома дом. И это сподвинуло нас бежать, потому что мы оставили все, и родители, и все оставили.
When you meet a mother like that and you hear her story, you realise that it's really a child's refugee crisis. She couldn't have said it better. She said it's really about our children. We do all of this for our kids, to save our kids and so that our kids have a future. And it's so easy for us to be at home and think about my daughter, my son and their future. And it's so easy to take that for granted.
4, 5, 6, 6, 8.
You left this morning?
Yes.
Okay. And who'd you come with?
Mother and sister.
Mother and little sister, baby sister.
We can do that. It's so nice to meet you.
Beyond the sadness, the tragedy and horror of witnessing families who are fleeing from a war-torn country, there is such a sense of hope to know that these blue dots that have been set up by UNICEF create a safe space for women and children to come, to take stock, to get food, to rest, and then go on with their journey.
In 2018, there were